Here's what my Z editor looks like, the one I use every day. And here's what a freshly installed Z looks like. Today, I'm going to show you step by step how I set up Z so that it looks and behaves exactly the way I want, and I'll also explain every line of my config file. Hi everyone, my name is Nick, and I've been developing software for 15 years. On this channel, I share my experience, insights and thoughts about IT. So the Z editor. I've completely uninstalled it on purpose, and now I'll reinstall it from scratch to show you line by line how I configure it for myself. Now I'm opening the settings file. Since this is the first launch of the editor, the settings file is still empty. By the way, this file is located in your home directory inside the config folder, and you can edit it in any text editor. To make it easier to see how each setting affects the editor, I'll open another window with a project. This way, every configuration change will be clearly demonstrated, and you'll be able to tell whether that particular setting is useful for you. And as you've probably noticed, the settings file is a JSON file, so you need to follow its syntax. Okay, let's start with the theme. I use the Everforest theme almost everywhere, in the terminal in Vim and in other editors, whenever it's available. Fortunately, it's included in the standard set of themes built into Z, so there's no need to install it separately. You just need to specify that you want to use it. Okay, the theme is applied, and immediately everything looks prettier and more familiar. By the way, there's a very good website with themes for Z. It's available at zthemes.com. There are over 100 ready-made themes, so you can pick any that you like. The site also offers two additional options. First, you can tweak a theme you like and then use it with your modifications. And second, you can create a completely unique theme from scratch. Try it out when you have some free time. It's a very engaging activity. Okay, we're done with the theme. For me, after the theme, the second most important setting is the font. There are two groups of values responsible for it: buffer font family and buffer font size, which define how the code looks, and UI font family and UI font size, which control the font used for the editor's interface itself. Let me show you visually so it's clearer. Here I've increased the font size for the buffer. As you can see, it only affects the code. Now I'll revert it back and change the UI font size instead. Okay, I think you can now clearly see where each of these fonts is used and what the difference is between the two groups of settings. Alright, now specifically about the fonts I use. For displaying code, I use Iosefka Nerd Font. If you haven't come across Nerd fonts before, they're a set of fonts specifically curated for developers, and they already include a large collection of icons. Here's the website dedicated to these fonts, where you can choose the one that suits you best. I use the Iosefka font from this family. I like its compactness. As you can see, it has a high horizontal character density, which means more text fits on a single line compared to other fonts. Of course, it's not for everyone. At first it felt narrow and unusual to me. But after a couple of days, I realized how convenient this compactness is. Much more text fits on one line, and it's now easier for my eyes to take in the entire code at a glance. I like this font so much that I also started using it in the terminal. For the editor's interface, I set the default system font. This way, Z blends seamlessly with macOS's style, which I really like. So we've sorted out the theme and fonts, which are quite important for a program you spend a lot of time in. Now let's move on to the other settings. The next step is changing the file icons. The default ones are pretty good, but I prefer them to be colorful, so I use the Katpuchin Mokas icon theme. It's also included in Z by default, so there's no need to install anything extra. Okay, it looks awesome. The next two settings deal with keyboard shortcuts. They are mutually exclusive, so it only makes sense to use one at a time. These are Base Keymap and Vim Mode. The first one enables the keyboard shortcut layout from another editor instead of Z's default commands. In my case, that's Sublime Text, since I used it for many years and got used to its hotkeys. The second option, as the name suggests, enables Vim Mode, which allows you to use Vim-style keyboard commands and navigation, modal editing with normal, insert, visual and other modes. I keep both settings in my config, but only one is active at a time. I simply comment out the other. From time to time, I switch between them depending on my mood and what I need from the editor at that particular moment. The next 3 settings define how the font behaves in the editor buffer. First, buffer line height. This setting controls the line spacing, making the text more airy and easier to read. I set it to 1.4, which means my line spacing is increased by 40% compared to the default. I also disable ligatures using buffer font features. Here's a quick demonstration of what ligatures are, in case you haven't come across this term before. Okay, moving on. My last font-related setting is buffer font weight. It defines the font's thickness. The values range from 100, the thinnest, to 900, the boldest, with 400 being the normal weight. Since the font I use is slightly compressed horizontally, I make it a bit thinner by setting the value to 300. This way, the code looks lighter and is easier for me to read. Now let's move on to the editor elements outside of the code buffer. Since I like most of the editor window to be occupied by code, I'll hide the toolbar. Right now it displays breadcrumbs and quick actions. To hide the toolbar completely, you need to disable both of these displays. Once they're turned off, the toolbar itself will disappear. Alright, now a few settings related to projects. To use the standard spacing between files in the projects sidebar, set project panel entry spacing to standard. This way, the spacing between file names will be smaller, and the file tree will display more information on screen. However, if that feels too cramped for you, set it to comfortable. The file tree will then appear more spaced out and easier on the eyes. Okay, now I'll open a few tabs with different types of files and show you how to add icons to the tabs. I personally like having them there, although some might find it unnecessary. This is controlled by the tab's file icon setting. And I also disable inline blame for HIT, since it's quite an annoying feature. It's rarely actually needed, yet by default it's shown all the time. Besides, I use HIT in the terminal anyway, so I definitely don't need it here. Another thing I don't need, and don't really like, is the highlighting of the current line, meaning the line where the cursor is positioned. This is controlled by the current line highlight setting. I turn it off. In my opinion, it's unnecessary and only distracting. I can clearly see where the cursor is without it. And the last group of settings concerns formatting and indentation. First of all, I always disable automatic file formatting on save. I like my files to be saved exactly as I left them, without any unexpected changes. Then I set the tab width to 4 characters. That's what I'm used to. I'm not a fan of the 2-space indentation that's become common, especially in the JavaScript world. I prefer indentation to be more visible. I also set hard tabs to true, so indentation uses actual tab characters instead of spaces. And please, don't start the holy war of tabs versus spaces in the comments. I'm just sharing my config. If you prefer spaces, of course, use them instead of tabs. Well, it looks like these are all the settings I currently use in my Z-editor config. However, the number of available settings is much larger, and you'll probably need some of them eventually. There are 2 places where you can explore all the configuration options for this editor. The first is the official Z website, which has a documentation section. Everything is explained in detail there, so if you have some time, definitely take a look. But if you need to quickly find a specific setting and don't have time to read the docs, there's also a second option. Open the default settings file of the editor and search for a keyword related to what you want to configure. In most cases, you'll find what you need. Then just copy the setting into your own config and set the value you prefer. Well, that's all for today. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. I regularly share my experience, insights and thoughts about IT here. See you soon. Take care.